Hey guys, I know it's been a while. I've been traveling like crazy for work and just haven't really had time to keep up with the regular schedule of the vlogs, but now I'm back in town for a while, so hopefully these should be more regular. PSA announcement over. So this week's episode is our first episode of season 2, Duane Barry. I'm so excited. This episode kicks off one of the first overarching plots of the X-Files. Gillian was pregnant. They needed to figure out a way to write her out of the show for a few episodes, so Duane Barry is kind of the start of all that. It's also a quintessential X-Files episode. Great plot, on the edge of your seat suspense, quality content. So the episode starts and we're in Virginia because we're always in Virginia, and Duane Barry is like asleep in his house and his TV goes all fuzzy, and all of a sudden there's these white lights and a bunch of aliens and they're coming for his ass. He says, "Not again," and we have to assume that this has happened to him before. Then we see the outside of the house and there's a classic X-Files early 90s CGI spaceship hovering above his house, and it is just gold. Then we see Duane is talking to a therapist, clearly about getting abducted. At one point, Duane breaks free and he's clearly in some sort of asylum situation, tackles an officer and knocks him out, grabs his gun, grabs his shrink, you know, yelling and trying to get the hell out of there. Not a good situation for everybody else involved. So then Krychek is coming to Mulder to talk about the hostage situation, and he comes to him at the pool. Oh my god, I forgot that this was the Red Speedo episode. How could I have forgotten? So Mulder's swimming laps and he gets out of the water to talk to Krychek, and he's just like, you know, got it all hanging out. I know some of you people are into that. So then we see that the FBI has this whole setup going on outside of the building where Duane Barry is holding all these people hostage. And even though Mulder has never done a hostage negotiation before, they're like, you're into aliens, he's into aliens, maybe you guys should talk. So Mulder's like, all right. And he calls Duane, but Duane's just convinced that Mulder's trying to trick him. Every time throughout the episode, it's very clear that Duane does not trust anybody and he thinks everybody's lying to him, convinced. But over the course of their conversation, Mulder realizes that Duane knows a lot of the ins and outs of like FBI business, so he must have been a former FBI agent, and he flips his shit on all of the FBI people around him. Y'all should have told me that he was FBI. Or former FBI, whatever. He also goes off about how he needs to alter the FBI hostage negotiation script to cater to Duane's abduction experiences. And we can tell that all the FBI people are like annoyed. They're like, Mulder, stick to the script, stop going up, like, rah. Mulder's like, I know what I'm doing, aliens, forever. So naturally, even though Mulder and Scully aren't working together on the X-Files at this point, he calls her up because true love. And he basically says like, I need your help. I need your help, of course he needs your help. They always need each other's help. Like, just like, this is why they should be together, forever. Okay, then the power goes out. Boom! There's a bright light. Like, what's that? Like, I don't think the aliens are here, but like, and there's gunshots. Somebody's shot. Mulder's going in. He goes in there with like a paramedic and they're trying to tend to the wounded person. Duane's got a gun on him the whole time. Mulder starts going off about all the things that could have happened to Duane. Like, did they do this to you, Duane? Did they do that to you, Duane? And it just sort of causes Duane Barry to start having these like seizure-y flashbacks, but Mulder's just trying to be like, I understand like what you've been through. Over the earpiece, they're like, stop identifying with his experience. This isn't how we deal with these things. And like, you know, maybe Mulder, you should listen to them because you've never done this before. So Duane basically lets the injured guy go, but Mulder has to stay in return. And Mulder's basic strategy here is just to continue appealing to Duane's experience, to continue asking him questions about being taken and abducted and telling him about his sister. I'm a believer, I believe you. Meanwhile, everybody at the FBI is just like, holy fuck, Mulder, shut the fuck up, you're gonna get everybody killed. But it does eventually get Duane to just start opening up and start sharing his experience with Mulder, and he sort of is talking about this time that the aliens drilled into his teeth, which is a horrifying scene. We see so many aliens in this episode. Like, usually the X-Files is pretty good about not being like, here's an alien, but there's like a lot of aliens here. And the set design for like Duane being held down and everything is actually like pretty crazy and really intense. Like, my heart was palpitating the whole time I was watching that scene, like, So anyone who's afraid of being abducted, beware of this one. Meanwhile, the FBI is trying to drill a hole into the building so that they can get a camera in there and keep an eye on what's happening. So then Scully calls and Krychek tells her that Mulder went in and exchanged for one of the hostages, and Scully flips a shit. She knows some shit about Duane Barry that everybody else doesn't know. He's super unstable and experienced like a gunshot to the head that fucked up his frontal lobe, and now he's a pathological liar and is basically a ticking time bomb. Unhappy, Scully blazes the fuck up in there and demands entrance, and everybody's like, bitch, who are you? And she's like, I'm Dana Catherine Scully, I know what's what, let me in.
Don't tell me to calm down. I'm not gonna calm down until I can talk to someone who will listen to what I'm saying.
Once she's in, Scully shows all of the other FBI agents Duane Barry's record and his medical history about how he's like got this brain injury that affects his moral center. Then suddenly everybody's like, bitch, why are you here? Like, how did you even get involved in this? And she says,
Agent Mulder called me. We used to work together.
R.I.P. my feelings, man. Meanwhile, back in the building, Duane has Mulder sucked in real good. To be fair, he's pretty convincing. Like, he could be telling the truth. So even though he's got this brain injury and all this shit and like could be lying, he also is like, again, very convincing. Got Mulder hook, line, and sinker. But Scully comes over Mulder's earpiece and tells him that he can't trust Duane, that he could snap at any time and to just start negotiating with him because he's in danger every second he's there. So Mulder, being a good husband and following his wife's advice, negotiates with him to get the women released. So Duane eventually is like, fine, the women can go. Mulder just keeps engaging with him, trying to figure out what Duane wants. And Duane just wants transportation because the aliens are gonna tell him where he needs to go. Like, I don't know, man. While all this is happening, the FBI is like setting up a sniper shot to like get Duane, like, just take him down if anything goes wrong. But when Mulder sees it, like, sees the little red laser on him, he freaks the fuck out and snaps, and he's basically like, Duane, I need to know if you're lying about any of this because, like, I'm a believer and I need to know. And you can clearly tell that Mulder's doing it for, like, selfish Mulder reasons at this point. Like, he wants to know if these are the same people who took his sister. He, like, wants to see if he can get any real answers out of Duane. But it just makes Duane fucking snap. And he just is like, how dare you question me? And it totally backfires. It's no good. Like, oh God, Mulder, wrong tactic. Like, this is not gonna end well. Realizes that it's not gonna end well. So he tells Duane that he forgot to lock the door when the women went out. So go back and lock the door. He's setting Duane up to get right in the line of fire for the sniper because he knows he's not getting out of there alive now, and that Duane is crazy. And it kind of is really heartbreaking to see Mulder's like one shred of hope that he might be getting somewhere in the search for his sister completely disintegrate. Mulder. So they load Duane into the ambulance and Scully asks Mulder if he's okay, and he says that he genuinely believed Duane. And that's another really sad moment because Scully clearly wants to comfort him, but she also kind of thinks he's crazy. Like, this is classic X-Files early Scully and Mulder dynamic where she like wants to be there for him emotionally, but also at the same time thinking he's like lost it. So then the head of the hostage negotiation calls Mulder down to the hospital where they have Duane, and she tells him that they recovered all of this metal from his body, all of these implants where Duane had described that the aliens had like put things inside of him. So he gives it to Scully, and she pretty much thinks that it's probably just shrapnel, but she agrees to go and get it tested by ballistics and like get that shit figured out right away. And like, again, poor baby just thinks he's crazy. Like, she thinks he's insane. She's like, don't worry, Mulder, like, I'll set the record straight, like, and I'll sleep easy tonight. So when they're analyzing the metal, they see this, like, etching in it that's, like, super fine, and, like, who the fuck could have done that? And it kind of looks like a barcode. So Scully runs it over the scanner when she's getting groceries, and all of this, like, number binary bullshit pops up on the thing, and, like, an alarm goes off. It's a whole situation. Like, Scully, woo girl. At the same time, Duane Barry wakes up in the hospital, and it's, like, white lights, aliens again. He freaks the fuck out, like, rips all his shit out, and, like, runs out of there. He's, like, on the move again. He tackles another police officer, gets his gun. Like, why does this guy have such an ability to get guns from armed officers? Like, how does that happen? I guess we can assume that it's his FBI training anything, but like, wow. Scully calls Mulder, totally freaked out from the barcode experience, and pretty much tells Mulder that it's almost as if someone was trying to catalog Duane with this implant. And she's like clearly like, woof, like losing her mind a little about the implications of this, because like, dude, Mulder could be right, like hashtag aliens, hashtag forever. Then she hears something moving outside of her apartment, and she goes to the window, and Duane Barry is fucking there. Like, how did he get her address? Why does he know where she lives? So many questions. Oh my God, he's coming for her ass. And then they just cut and we hear Scully's poor voice over the answering machine yelling for Mulder's help. And it's just like, heartbreaking. Dude, this episode is so crazy. My pulse was racing the entire time. So much happens. It's fucking wild. And like, poor baby Scully is getting abducted. One of the first of the many injustices brought against Dana Catherine Scully. And this sort of kicks off the arc of Scully being abducted, returning, and all of the things that happen because of that. Just kind of like the foundation of the X-Files plot to come. So that's cool. I'll definitely be reviewing One Breath, the episode where Scully comes back, because obviously we need to assure ourselves that she's okay. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Go check out my other videos, subscribe, check out the shirts at TeePublic. Mulder, it's me. What up? Link is below. Catch you guys next week.